children, which made her the most powerful within the compound among the other wives. It also made her a target. My grandmother actually gave birth to 10 children, but mysteriously, all 5 boys she birthed died before they were 3 from mysterious illnesses, and one even to a dog attack. This prompted my grandmother to believe that the other less favoured wives of her husband were practicing juju on her to undermine her standing by casting spells and killing all of her male children, which in Nigerian society, as well as the rest of patriarchy, is the more desired gender. As a result of this, my mother, Grace Nekpen Obaseki, the first of the surviving girls, had 5 younger sisters born from her mother, but no living brothers. Despite my grandmother's lack of living male children, my grandfather still adored his first wife and their girl children, and my mother was his favourite. My mother showed a keen intelligence from early childhood, and in an era where daughters were often not educated and only groomed for wifedom and motherhood, she was sent to the best private and convent boarding schools, and she travelled with her dad on many of his business trips abroad. My mum thrived in school and her further studies, qualifying as an English teacher by the time she was 20 and becoming an assistant school principal by age 24. Her mother became afraid that she, as the favourite and most accomplished child of her father, would also be a target of the other wives, as had been her sons, so she begged my grandfather to send my mum out of Nigeria to further her studies in England and get her away from the jealous other wives. Eventually, after my grandmother's death, my distraught grandfather sent my mum to London and told her never to return. You may not have heard of the Kingdom of Benin, not to be confused with the country Benin. However, if you've ever been to a museum anywhere in the world and seen any cool as hell Edo bronze sculptures and masks, then you have. To cut a long story short, Benin was a powerful forest kingdom within what is now Nigeria. The Edo people of the kingdom were ruled by an Oba, whose ultimate power was his ability to determine life and death for those within the confines of his multi-ethnic empire. The area was rich in natural resources, and from the 1400s to the mid-1500s, the Edo traded with the Portuguese, who were the first Europeans to arrive there, and then the Dutch, swapping their rubber, palm oil, pepper, and ivory for copper and brass, which Edo artists cast into various elaborate works of art. Basically, the Kingdom of Benin was the real Wakanda. If you don't get this reference, then you've been truly living under a Jupiter-sized rock. The kingdom was an extremely advanced society, and Europeans describe Benin City as one of the most beautiful and well-planned cities in the world. Don't believe me? This is from The Guardian. In 1691, the Portuguese ship captain Lourenço Pinto observed, "Great Benin, where the king resides, is larger than Lisbon. All the streets run straight and as far as the eye can see. The houses are large, especially that of the king, which is richly decorated and has fine columns. The city is wealthy and industrious. It is so well governed that theft is unknown, and the people live in such security that they have no doors to their houses." In contrast, London at the same time is described by Bruce Holsinger, professor of English at the University of Virginia, as being a city where thievery, prostitution, murder, bribery, and a thriving black market made the medieval city ripe for exploitation by those with a skill for the quick blade or picking a pocket. Most Westerners assume that it was Europeans who brought civilization to Africa and that Africans should be grateful. But in London, they were still throwing their piss out of their windows and having sex in shit-filled alleys, while the area now known as Nigeria had a thriving, advanced social network. This is true of many other civilizations throughout Africa and the world before European contact. The Edo, also called the Bini, are originally from what is now known as southern Nigeria. Benin City was the center of the Kingdom of Benin, which had its heyday from the 14th to the 17th centuries. Their territory is west of the Niger River and extends from the northern hills down to the swamps of the Niger Delta. The Edo people were very advanced and controlled most of the trade happening in this area. The Brits wanted a piece of this action, but the Oba put certain restrictions on what the Edo were or were not allowed to trade. The Brits wanted to just take all of the Edo people's shit, using Benin's wealth and resources to expand and enrich the British Empire. They tried to do a sneaky invasion of Benin in 1896, but they had their asses handed to them by the Edo warriors.